Welcome to the stream, everyone. If you're new to my channel, my name is Brian Craig, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Welcome. We got a lot to cover, and this new video, it's an ad that's running in Iowa, is a great ad. This is, the end of Nikki Haley's political career, so we won't have much longer to talk about Nikki Haley. Maybe New Hampshire, would she go so far as South Carolina and be destroyed in her own state? You never know. She's pretty arrogant. But this video here is devastating to Nikki Haley, and it comes from the strangest of places, a place that you would not expect something like this to come from. This came from Ron DeSanctimonious. Yeah, Ron DeSantis put this ad together, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. And, what I love it. This is a great ad. And what Ron DeSantis is doing, he's fighting hard to get that second place in Iowa. So I guess whatever little bit of change he found between the seat cushions on the couch in the governor's mansion, he poured into this last ad. And let's watch it. This is devastating. This is a montage ad of Nikki Haley.
Governor DeSantis is hitting you for claiming the retirement age is, quote, way, way too low.
I have never once said that. But what we do know is 65 is way too low, and we need to increase that. We need to do it according to life expectancy.
I never once said Hillary Clinton was an inspiration.
I often say that the reason I got into politics was because of Hillary Clinton.
I never said government should go and require anyone's name.
A huge issue that I'll deal with as soon as I get there is social media. They need to verify every single person on their outlet, and I want it by name.
What I have always said is boys go into a boys' bathroom, girls go into a girls' bathroom. But hold on one second.
When I was governor, they wanted to bring in a bathroom bill, a transgender bathroom bill, and I strong-armed and said, we are not going to have that in South Carolina.
She said the law shouldn't get involved in that. And I just ask you, if you're somebody that's going to be the president of the United States and you can't stand up against child abuse, how are you going to be able to stand up for anything? That is the truth. We have it on video.
When a 12-year-old child in this country, assigned female at birth, says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy, what should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, hey, listen, Ron DeSantis, out of his entire campaign, he had one moment here as he's fighting for second place, and that's a good video, and it really shows her for what she is. She stands for nothing, Nikki Haley, and she's pretty brutal. Welcome to the stream, everyone. If you're just joining, my name is Brian Craig. This is the most pro-Donald Trump MAGA place you were going to find anywhere online, not just YouTube, but anywhere. So subscribe. If you love Trump, you're going to love me. If you don't love Trump, well, you will if you watch me long enough. And, of course, everyone who's already subbed, do me the favor of making sure you are subbed, because a lot of people are telling me that they're getting unsubbed all the time. And like the video if you don't mind. But that Nikki Haley ad put out by DeSantis, that's a good one. You got to give the devil his due. I would not say Ron DeSantis is a broken clock right twice a day, because he hasn't been right about anything since he started running against our great president, Donald Trump. But that's a good ad, I must say. That's a good ad. I want to give it to him. And Nikki, Nikki Haley, it's an interesting thing about Nikki Haley, because, she's a clown, right? She's a complete clown. But this is what all of our politicians used to be like before President Trump came down the escalator. They were all a bunch of flip-flopping phonies who stood for nothing, that were complete puppets of the donors, and that's just the way that it was before Trump. And when Trump came down the escalator, President Trump changed everything so far as politics. In particular, he changed what the American people's expectations are of our candidates and our leaders. And as crazy as it sounds, Nikki Haley is very typical to all the politicians of the past. And that ad is a beautiful ad. So Ron DeSantis, I'll give him one good thing in his whole thing. Now, but as bad as that is for Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis had a devastating event happen in Iowa yesterday. Did you catch this? My good friend Laura Loomer is in Iowa. Did you see this video? Oh my goodness. Yeah, let me tell you, the last thing that you want if you're a public person is have Laura Loomer after you, because when you have Laura Loomer after you, oh man, you're in trouble. Oh, and by the way, coming up in a little bit, I came across on YouTube a television commercial that I was in when I was 11 years old, and I'm going to show it to you in a little bit on the video here. I was 11 years old, and I was in a television commercial, and I'll show it to you. 11 years old, so it was like 1982 or 3, might have been 12. I was 11 or 12, but not yet. I'll show you that coming up in just a bit. But so Loomer here, she's in Iowa, and she confronted Ron DeSantis at his hotel, and Ron DeSantis looked freaking terrified. He just looked totally, I mean, it wasn't just that, you know, a lot of times, there's Loomer in her winter wear. You know, hey, I'm in Florida. She lives in Florida. It's beautiful weather here in Florida. I was way too cold for me. But Loomer, when she went up to DeSantis, it's one thing for a politician to be asked questions and, you know, just ignore them and walk away. That's not what happens with DeSantis here. You look in Ron DeSantis's face, and it is the look of panic, of sheer terror. He's freaking out. Now watch this. We'll watch. This is Laura Loomer confronting Kinky Boots Ron DeSantis. I wonder if he had the high heels on during this. I don't know. There she is, Loomer.
Hey, Governor.
Okay. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at that face. And he's got his big bodyguard blocking the door, which I'm not even sure that's cool. This is a hotel. This is like the gift shop area or whatever of the hotel that DeSantis is hijacking here.
I'm recording.
Hey, Governor. When are you going to drop out? Don't you think you've already wasted enough of people's money? $300 million?
Oh, goodness.
Governor DeSantis, why do you have a bubble-wrapped campaign, Ron?
A bubble?
Are you going to be endorsing President Trump when you drop out the night of the Iowa caucus, or hopefully shortly after?
I love it. There he comes.
An absentee governor who changed the law in Florida so that you could run.
Hey, Loomer, back. You don't want to make him trip and fall down on his high heels, do you, Loomer? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. This is great. This is great. Janie, she says, love your show. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me rewind a little bit. This is beautiful. Watch when Kinky Boots DeSantis comes out.
Are you going to be endorsing President Trump when you drop out the night of the Iowa caucus, or hopefully shortly after?
There he comes.
An absentee governor who changed the law in Florida so that you could run for president. Answer a question, Ron. I thought you were never back down. Never back down, Ron. Whatever.
Oh, my goodness. I love it. She's using his own campaign slogan against him. I thought you were never going to back down. You got to love Laura Loomer, don't you? Laura Loomer's amazing. Let me rewind this. This is the best.
Bubble-wrapped campaign, Ron. Are you going to be endorsing President Trump when you drop out the night of the Iowa caucus, or hopefully shortly after?
Yeah, hey, I got a question for you guys here. Now, I don't know if we can see, but did he take something out of this gift shop area? When did he pay for it? I don't know. Did he go in and get nothing and come out with nothing? Or did he get something and in a panic forgot to pay for it? Let's see if we can catch him, because I think we see him at the Pepsi cooler here. Let me go back. Let's find out.
Hey, Governor.
There he goes.
When are you going to drop out?
Oh, he said something to the bodyguard, too. Well, let's see if we can hear what... Let's see if we can hear what DeSantis says to the bodyguard.
Okay, thank you. Hey, Governor. When are you going to drop out? Don't you think you've already wasted enough of people's money, $300 million? Governor DeSantis, why do you have a bubble-wrapped campaign run?
Okay, there he is, got a Pepsi.
Are you going to be endorsing President Trump when you drop out the night of the Iowa caucus, or hopefully shortly after? An absentee governor who changed the law in Florida so that you could run for president. Answer a question, Ron. I thought you were never back down. Never back down, Ron. Whatever happened to that? Don't assault me. Press charges against you.
Did you hear? Now, he doesn't have anything with him, so he went in there to hide from Loomer and didn't buy anything, didn't take anything. And I love one of the campaign people and one of the bodyguards goes to touch Loomer. Don't assault me. I'll press charges. Oh my goodness, you gotta love it.
That you could run for president. Answer a question, Ron. I thought you were never back down. Never back down, Ron. Whatever happened to that? Don't assault me. Press charges against you.
There's a state of emergency in your state. Why aren't you there?
There's a state.
Look at this. Let me step aside. Look at Ron DeSantis's face here. This isn't some politician that's just not taking some reporter's question. This is a man who's in a complete state of panic. Look at this. Oh my goodness. That's the governor. He looks terrified. That is like the most frightening look I've ever seen on a politician. Oh my goodness.
I thought you were never back down. Never back down, Ron. Whatever happened to that? Don't assault me. Press charges against you.
There's a state of emergency in your state. Why aren't you there?
There's a state of emergency in the state of Florida that you declared, and you abandoned Floridians,
Hey,
Ron.
why are you hitting me? Why are you hitting me?
You wouldn't be governor if it wasn't for President Trump. You betrayed President Trump. You betrayed the people of Florida. And you're going to lose 14% in Iowa, 5% in New Hampshire, Ron. As you can see, it's all the way throughout backing down with Ron DeSantis. Hey everybody, so I'm here in front of the Sheraton Hotel in West Des Moines, Iowa, and Ron DeSantis just got Loomer. He looked petrified, honestly.
He
I
did,
think
didn't
that
he?
his soul left
He
his
did.
body when he saw me, and he's such a coward. Whatever happened to never back down, right? Never back down. He ran into the hotel convenience lobby, you know, where they sell the little snacks and the waters and the tampons and things like that. That's where Ron DeSantis
Was he going in there for tampons, Loomer? What was he going in there for? Oh my goodness.
never back down, right? Never back down. He ran into the hotel convenience lobby, you know, where they sell the little snacks and the waters and the tampons and things like that. That's where Ron DeSantis ran to hide from me, and then he took the elevator up to the 9th floor to run away from me. This is a guy who is too scared to face an independent journalist.
Oh my goodness. Blizzard.
He's running a bubble-wrapped, insulated campaign, doesn't want to talk to the people, and he runs away. He's going to lose. President Trump is going to kick his ass in Iowa.
That's right. I love it. President Trump's going to kick his ass in Iowa. Oh my goodness. This is awesome.
And he runs away. He's going to lose. President Trump is going to kick his ass in Iowa on Monday, January 15th. And that's it for Ron. You killed your political career, Ron, and I hope you're happy. You just got Loomered, bitch.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. You know, that should be on the news everywhere. I mean, that is just absolutely. By the way, if you'd like to call in when I'm live streaming here in my other studio, you are welcome to call. It's the same number I use during the week. It's toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. A toll free call, no matter where you are watching. If you're watching live, 888-465-2631. That was just. I almost feel bad for Ron DeSantis. You know, he had that good ad that I started the stream with with on Nikki Haley, but that's, and that video is, when something like that happens, and you're in a position like him, what it does to you emotionally, the head trip you go on, you see that look on his face. If you want to be president of the United States, or even be an effective governor of Florida, where I live here, you got to be tougher than that. If you can't take a couple questions from a girl, how you going to take on Kim Jong-un? If you can't take a question or two from Loomer, how you going to take on Putin? Loomer's a badass, but Putin's a bigger badass, okay? And, he wants to take on Putin. He's going to take on Putin. He can't even take on Loomer. If he's at some summit meeting with Kim Jong-un, is he going to run into the store where they sell the tampons and get himself some tampons and a Coke Zero? What's he going to do? Oh, my goodness. That is a devastating video from Laura Loomer. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Michael. How you doing?
Man, Laura Loomer is fun.
Oh, my God. She is. She's a badass.
She is. And look, she was on with Tim Pool last night.
Uh-huh.
And at one point they were talking about odds for these so-called candidates to become president or whatever.
Yeah.
And she basically said what you said about Ron DeSantis, that he's unelectable forever.
That's true.
And they were flabbergasted when she said that.
Yeah.
That's
all
didn't
true.
Have it's true. I mean, when she said that, now they will get into the odds of these people running, these people and these things running, and either becoming president or becoming, the vice president. But again, when she said that, and it's true. Like you said, it is true. He's unelectable forever. They were talking about how good a governor he was, he had been, or he was, or he is.
Absolutely.
She was visibly angry because she's a Floridian, and she's talking about he's not there. We having these floods or whatever, and he hasn't been there.
Well, Florida, and it is very true. Florida actually has a state of emergency going on right now that DeSantis declared over two things. One, our waterways are consumed with a deadly poisonous algae, which is poisoning our coastline and also maybe even our water supply in some areas and our fishes. But also, we've had some really bad and bizarre weather this last week, and DeSantis declared a state of emergency. So I don't understand, and I think what Loomer asks is a very legitimate question. If there's a state of emergency that he's declared in the state of Florida, what's he doing in Iowa? Right? What's he doing in Iowa? Shouldn't he be here in Florida? If he thinks that there's a state of emergency in Florida, why is he not in Florida, Ron DeSantis? He's my governor.
Right, and that's the thing. This guy, he flies in, and then he does this press conference announcing the thing, and he flies out right after the press conference, right? And
that's exactly right. Yeah, he's probably got a house or something in Iowa. I don't know.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
and that's the thing. This guy, and she even went in to talk about how he's a big loser. And
he is a
Disney
loser.
thing and all that stuff, And,
he is a loser.
He thinks he's going to win. This guy thinks he's going to win.
He's fighting. He's fighting for second place. Hey, Mike, good to talk to you. Thanks for calling. Yeah, you're all welcome to call in. It is open to call in no matter where you are. Toll free 1-888-465-2631. I was looking for this story while I was talking to Mike because this is an important story. An American citizen has been killed by Zelensky. American journalist and political prisoner Gonzalo Lara, who's been a very well-known critic of Zelensky and, of course, Biden, has died in a Ukrainian prison. So, You know, we have an American citizen who was imprisoned for doing journalism in Ukraine. He's put in prison by Zelensky, and now he's dead. Why was this guy even in prison? He's an American. Why was he even in prison, and he's dead? Where's Biden on this? Where's the press on this? You know, the press, they're usually all over these stories that involve other members of the press because it involves them. Now, Tucker's reported on this. And Tucker tweeted, Gonzalo Lara Sr. says his son has died at age 55 in a Ukrainian prison. Can you, I mean, this is insane. And it's not like he's a drug, you know, Biden got that bizarre basketball player that's 12 feet tall with the charge in Russia. He got her out of the gulag and got her back. Well, what about Gonzalo Lara? Why did Biden leave him there? You know why Biden left him there? Because he criticized Zelensky, criticized the fake war, and criticizes Biden. But Tucker tweeted, Gonzalo Lara Sr. says his son has died at age 55 in a Ukrainian prison where he was being held for the crime of criticizing the Zelensky and Biden governments. That's right. This is disgusting. You know, when you're an American citizen and you're elsewhere in the world, that's supposed to mean something. That's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to mean that you're safe, and that if you get jammed up by one of these tyrannical governments like Zelensky, that the United States government, the State Department, will have your back and take care of you. And it looks like Biden and the Biden regime let this guy be killed because this is a killing. At best, it's manslaughter. Gonzalo Lara was an American citizen, but the Biden administration clearly supported his imprisonment and torture. Let me pull this up because Tucker said more. Several weeks ago, we spoke to his father, Tucker says, who predicted his son would be killed. This is an impeachable event in my mind. You've got to, you know, now I know he doesn't check off one of the boxes, and he's vocal about the corruption of, well, he was vocal. He's no longer with us. He was vocal about the corruption of Zelensky and all. But the basketball player got her out. You know, she got arrested with her BLM t-shirt on and everything else, and she's gay. She checks off the boxes. This guy, an American, is now dead, killed by Zelensky in a Ukrainian prison. And you know what's crazy about it? We're paying for that Ukrainian prison because we're paying for everything that the Ukrainian government has and does. We're paying for the salaries of the jailers. We're paying for the electricity and the water in the prison and the food in the prison, you know, and they killed him. And I imagine that there'll be a media blackout. See, the media, you know, people like Gonzalo Lara and, Brittany Grenier and Laura Loomer, the media don't want to give them the credibility of being a journalist, okay? Because they're the real journalists today. You know, what Loomer did in that video with DeSantis, what Lara was doing in Ukraine, that's what American mainstream journalists used to do 40, 50 years ago, okay? Real reporting, ambushing public officials, catching them off guard, reporting the truth. And now the mainstream media are just an arm of the deep state. And the real journalists, Lara, Loomer, the great James O'Keefe, Tucker Carlson, and others, you know, they don't want to give them the credibility of being journalists. So that's how that happens. And it's sick and it's twisted. Okay. I hope that every conservative out there in the new media grab onto that story of Lara being killed by Zelensky and run with it. Now, before I get back to the news, I wanted to show you guys this. I was in a I can't play the audio because of the music on the ad, But when I was 11 years old, I was at a TV commercial for an arcade in Fort Lauderdale. And I remember being in this commercial. This commercial, you see me real quick. I'll have to show you, okay? I'll have to stop it when I come in, and I'll start it. It's for the Grand Prix Racerama. And, this commercial ran on TV for a few years, and I was 11 years old in this commercial. You know, it's kind of like a Chuck E. Cheese place on one side. It's been out of business for years. They tore it down and built a road where it is. And then, so one side was like this Chuck E. Cheese kind of place, and then the other side was an arcade, okay? So when they get into the arcade, you'll see me, but don't blink, okay? Now we're coming up to the arcade portion. Please don't blink, because if you blink, you will miss me. But I will go back and pause it. And you'll see, I'm 11 years old. This was not my television debut, by the way. My second time. Okay, now here you go. Okay, so here we are in the arcade, and okay, everybody got your eyes held open. No blinking, no blinking. Here we go. Hey, there I am. I'm right here. That's me. You see me looking? I'm looking at the camera, and I'm pretending to play a game because I saw them. I saw them filming for the commercial, so I ran over and sat down and was pretending to play and was shocked to find that I got into it. Watch, you'll see. Here we go. Don't blink. There I am. That's right. Hey, let me get out of my own way. Yes. I'll reenact it. That's some heavy duty acting right there. I got to tell you. Yeah, but it's on YouTube. Maybe I'll put it on Twitter. I don't know. Just oh my goodness. Yes, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah. Good morning.
Hey, Richie.
11 years old, huh?
11 years old.
Grand Prix Racerama, isn't that where they had the roller coaster, the wooden roller coaster?
No, that was not the. No, that was another one. I can't remember the name of that one offhand. But it became the Grand Prix later.
That was Grand Prix.
Yeah, that one was the one that was on State Road 84 and 441. They tore it down to build 595. It was kind of like Fort Lauderdale Davy.
Oh, okay.
And it looked like a castle.
I want to make a comment. First of all, they constantly bring up President Trump and say he let that I forgot the guy's name. The reporter had the Saudi Arabians killed him and did nothing. Wasn't that
the one they put in the briefcase? Yeah.
And they constantly bring up Trump. But you're not going to hear much about this.
You know, the guy that got chopped up and put in the suitcase was CIA. He was the nephew of Adnan Khashoggi, who Adnan Khashoggi at one time in the 80s was the richest man in the world. He was on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous all the time, but he was his uncle. Yeah. The guy that got killed by the Saudis and put in the suitcases, right? They chopped him up. His uncle was the broker for the arms for hostages deal with the Reagan administration in Iran. So the guy was CIA. He was born into being CIA, and that's why they chopped him up. In the media, he did some work for the Washington Post. Was like his cover. His CIA cover was that he was like a Washington Post columnist or something. And the media went on with that for years. Where's Trump? Now, here we got an American killed by Zelensky in prison over there, and there's a blackout on it in the media.
Well, that doesn't really, I was going to bring that up to you. That doesn't really mean anything. What are you kidding me? This State Department and this White House are going to protect Americans? Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, when they walked out of Afghanistan, they left how many Americans behind that were actually got out by private mercenaries because the State Department left them. And they still got people over there running away from the Taliban.
That's right.
It never happened before in the history of this country. But what did he do? He brought a bunch of people that he never vetted from there that weren't even didn't even help us in the war. Actually, probably some people that were enemies to us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I bring something up about Zelensky. Do you know for people out there, listen, you know I was pro, in the very beginning, I was pro-war there.
Yeah, you were.
We had arguments on it.
Yeah.
But do you know what the average age of a recruited soldier is right now in the army of Walensky? Do you know what the age is? I do.
What?
42 years old.
Yeah.
42, because the young ones have been killed off or run away and didn't want to get involved. 42-year-old men are fighting a war. Do you people know what a 42-year-old man is like fighting a war? Yeah. And all you see here is death on both sides and no peace talks, no progress. But people
there has not been one summit meeting with the United States and Russia or Ukraine and Russia. Nothing. And it's because the United States, our corrupt government, are stealing money from Ukraine funding, and they don't want to end anything that's going on there.
No, and you got Haley over there wanting to send more weapons to Ukraine. You know, I mean, this whole thing is just bizarre at this point. We don't. And
I'll tell you, when it comes to Ukraine, I know you're on the phone, you can't watch, but I've been telling you guys since this began. If you want to know what's going on in Ukraine, go to Pavlo from Ukraine. It's a YouTube channel. He is a 20-something guy. He has a YouTube channel. And basically nothing is going on in Ukraine. Here he is renovating the front door of his house. Here he is hunting for some mushrooms with his new dog. Here he is riding around on a scooter. Here he is going to a beach resort. And he's got his bikini model girlfriend. And they're doing home remodeling videos. And Pavlo from Ukraine, that's where first off, if things are so bad, this guy should be in the army. But I never see bombs, or I don't see the Russian rape gang army coming through the countryside. Nothing. Pavlo from Ukraine.
Was all disputed this was all disputed territory. There were the Ukrainians had Crimea and the other.
Yeah.
And Russia kept saying this is our land. People speak Russian here. The people there wanted to become Russian, and Ukraine trying to protect that. Okay?
Listen, what's going on in Ukraine? I don't have a side in it. I'm neutral, but it's in my opinion, it's a civil war. Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union, and to Putin, I'm not saying this is right, but from Putin's vantage point, Ukraine is like North Carolina decided to have their own country. Lincoln.
No, you know what
Lincoln didn't let the states start their own country. So why Russia? Putin's basically
Ukraine,
like Lincoln.
Ukraine. Listen to me. Ukraine to Russia, okay, and Crimea and everything else was like having what do you call it? Gaza on your border. They had fought before. They were like sort of like enemies. They wanted their land back. There were people over there that Ukrainians were supposedly forcing people to stay with Ukraine. Don't go to Russia. It got to be a mess. Okay, but he doesn't want. When I say Gaza on his border, he doesn't want Poland and the rest of the cahoots that Trump got the money from,
That's right. Well, Richie, I'll give you the last word, Richie, before I move on.
All right. The last word is you're looking at an administration that doesn't give a damn about any American citizen. Look at our border. He doesn't care about our citizens that are trapped behind enemy lines.
Correct.
He doesn't give a damn.
An American journalist was killed in Ukraine in a Ukrainian prison. He doesn't care. All right, Richie, appreciate the call. Yeah, he's right. I mean, by the way, you're all welcome to call in. The number's toll free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. Now, you may have heard Fox News has taken Mike Lindell and MyPillow off the air, okay? Mike Lindell, who is a supporter of all of my content, you can get great deals at MyPillow.com. Save up to 80% with my promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Mike Lindell and his MyPillow commercials have been removed from Fox News Channel. And this is part of this effort against Mike Lindell that's been going on. Here we are entering, think about this. You think it's just a coincidence? Here we are, just a couple days hey, caller, hang in there. Hold on. We're just a couple days from the Iowa caucus, and then we've got New Hampshire and everything else, and they're taking Mike Lindell and MyPillow off. This is part of the attack on Mike Lindell because he stands up for the president. Don't believe this stuff that he didn't pay his bills. He gave them over $2.5 million last month. Mike Lindell said this story that he hasn't been paying his advertising bill is not true, and I believe Mike Lindell before I believe Fox News. But go to MyPillow.com, use my promo code Kane at checkout. You're supporting Mike Lindell and me at the same time. There's huge deals going on, and you can use my promo code Kane on all the specials that are at MyPillow.com, all right? The MyPillow 2.0, which I have, is 50% off and free shipping with the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. But go and buy something. Support Mike Lindell, and, of course, support me and my content. MyPillow.com, and use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, at checkout. All right, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, it's Joan from Tampa Bay.
Hey, Joan.
How do you feel about the bombing of Yemen when the Secretary of Defense was in the hospital in intensive care and Joe Biden didn't even go to Congress to ask about doing that? And they put a lid on it the night it happened.
Yeah. Well, what do you mean, what do I think about it? I mean, be more specific.
Well, don't you think that's impeachable?
Well, I want to show you, I know you're on the phone, so you may not be able to see the video. But I'm going to show everybody this video. This is Biden yesterday. Biden couldn't call him anything. Now you guys, I know you can't see this, Joan, unless you got your TV on or something. But there's a delay, so if you're on the phone and you're on the, it's about 10 seconds behind. But those of you,
I have my computer going.
Those of you watching, look at Joe Biden's face. This is yesterday.
This is Morgan Sherwin. This is Morgan Sherwin and Sam.
He doesn't know where the freak he is. So the question is, who called in the strike? It wasn't this guy. And by the way, at this same appearance, he says, I'm Joe Biden. I work for the government in the Senate. He hasn't been in the Senate in like 15 years, right? This guy. So the question is not about. They're turning this into this discussion, Joan, of. Joe Biden did this airstrike without notifying Congress. That's not the question. Who authorized the airstrike? This guy yesterday, he doesn't know. He still thinks he's in the Senate. He not just forgot he's president, he forgot he was vice president. And you see in his face, he doesn't know where he is. So who illegally ordered an airstrike? That's what I'd like to know. Who? Jill Biden? Obama? Susan, I don't know. What do you think?
I have no idea. But probably Obama.
Someone, someone did, and he. I'll go back. I'll play this whole thing for everyone that's watching.
Morgan Sherwin. This is Morgan Sherwin and Sam Cerruti. They're our team members here. They help us. They help us service and sales.
That's the worst I've ever seen him. So this guy, someone in this government illegally launched airstrikes.
Hey, it could have been Nancy, nasty Nancy.
It could be the staff of the White House. It could be Jill Biden. It could be that the military is not under civilian control and that the military are running themselves. Who knows? It could be Obama. But whoever did it, it's illegal. First off, he's not mentally capable. So even if he ordered an airstrike, it would be criminal because he's so out of it mentally.
And they put a lid on him. They put a lid on him so he would not respond to anything.
Because he can't. What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I don't know, but I want more information. That's all.
All right, appreciate it, Joan. Yeah, I want to know who ordered it, who really ordered it. Now, of course, Joe Biden, he may be out of it and not know who he is. Oh, hit the wrong button. But he does when there's a girl nearby. Watch.
We will make sure that we respond to the Houthis as they continue this outrageous behavior, along with our allies.
Look at this. Watch this little girl.
I do.
I'm sorry.
What the freak is he doing?
Yes.
That is a man who is completely out of it. I mean, he is just completely checked out. I mean, really checked out. And for him to not notify Congress, he couldn't notify himself. I mean, he could not even walk over to that counter without that guy. And you notice that guy in that video that I showed put his arm out and stopped him. Let me go back. I wasn't going to show it again. I'll show it without the. Let me pull it up again. Okay, now watch what this guy does.
This is Morgan Sherwin.
Now look at this. Whoever the freak this guy is, Biden is, obviously out of it here, but he's the president of the United States, and this guy here at this bar or whatever put his hands on the president of the United States and stopped him from moving forward. Look at this. Watch.
Morgan Sherwin. This is Morgan Sherwin and Sam Cerruti. They're our team members here. They help us. They help us.
Wow. I mean, that is the absolute worst that I've ever seen Joe Biden. And that was yesterday. There was another video I was looking for. I thought I retweeted it. I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can find it. But I guess I did not. There was a video yesterday. Let me see if I have it here. Let me see. When he went in, it was in that same place, and he introduced himself and said, I'm Joe Biden. I work for the government in the Senate. It was at that same moment. I guess I didn't retweet it, but you guys can find it on your own. I don't have it here. But the question is, who ordered the strike? And whoever ordered the strike has broken the law. And not only have they broken the law, anyone who was involved in knowing about the strike and the chain of command that it went through, they broke the law. They committed war crimes, and they also quite possibly committed murder. Right? People were killed in those airstrikes. If people were killed in those airstrikes, that's murder. It was an unauthorized, illegal airstrike. Even if he signed the order, he's not mentally sound enough to sign anything. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. It's Bera from Texas.
Hey, Bera.
Listen, I was thinking about that last night, too, those strikes, and I just saw that video you put on of Biden. He's lost, completely lost. How embarrassing.
Gone.
I've
it's
never
scary.
saw that clip. I got to show my husband. But I'm wondering, if they did that strike, and you don't think they're trying to pause the election?
No, there's never been a pause. We've been involved in wars since this country was founded, and it doesn't pause the election. I've talked about this a lot. There is no president of the United States has lost re-election in time of war. Okay, right. And so these evildoers that are Biden's handlers, they may try to escalate a conflict, thinking that a military conflict would help Biden be reelected. That would be my only guess.
Again, evil by their part.
It's crimes. This is hardcore. If you're illegally ordering and taking military action where people are killed, I don't know how many crimes are involved and how many people would have to be involved in that. Now, they may have a thing going on, and this is very possible, okay? We don't really know. Everybody just says Obama. Orders still have to be signed, okay? And it is very possible, and I think this is very likely, that Jill Biden either signs orders for Joe or she holds his hand and moves the pen.
Or
that would
Pamela.
I think it would probably be Jill, and I'll tell you why I say Jill. It's always been said that Woodrow Wilson, another Democrat, a Democrat, Ku Klux Klansman, Democrat Woodrow Wilson, who opposed women getting the right to vote. Woodrow Wilson had a stroke, his last year and a half of his presidency, and it's been said for 100 years that his wife was signing orders and such and running the country for a year. And so I heard that too. Yeah, everybody's heard it. So these criminals like Jill and Joe Biden, they'll tell themselves, well, Woodrow Wilson's wife did it, so there's precedent for this, Jill. By the way, William, $5 super chat, thank you. He says the swamp needs to send good old Joe back to the basement. Yeah. I mean, I would say the chances are Jill Biden either signed the order to attack or she held his hand and moved it or just gave him the document and said, make your mark here, Joe. So that makes her a criminal. Yeah. I mean, if I took a legal document,
the mafia family of America.
Yeah, if I took a legal document and went to my mother's house, now my mother's with it, okay, she's retired, but she's with it, but if she wasn't, and I just got her to sign documents, what would would those documents be legal? Would I be committing a crime? Yeah. But this crime is involving people getting killed.
I know. But this is what they're best at doing this too.
I don't know if they're best at doing it. I mean, they're doing it. I wouldn't say they're getting away with it.
They've done it with COVID. They've done it with a lot of things. So nothing surprises me anymore.
If we only talked about what surprised us, we wouldn't talk about much.
Exactly. It just doesn't surprise me anymore. These things.
Well, no, but
okay, Brian,
I appreciate the call. Yeah, if you'd all like to call in, please do. I did pin the number at the top of the chat. If you're watching live, you can call 888-465-2631. There's some hardcore criminal activity going on here, guys. And this is not a joke. This is not partisan. You saw the video. Joe can't even go to the bathroom by himself. And I don't make fun of people that have cognitive decline. I've had people in my own family that have had Alzheimer's, okay? And I don't make fun of it. But that's elder abuse, and it's also hardcore criminal activity. Now, not one of my favorite people, really kind of a jerk, Frank Luns, who has the worst toupee ever made. He says Trump's going to win in November. Look at this. And Frank Luns, not only does he hate Donald Trump, remember, Frank Luns was roommates with Kevin McCarthy, right? And Kevin McCarthy was living at this freak's house. Or his apartment in D.C., and Kevin McCarthy's wife and his constituents thought he slept in his office. Remember that? He was living at Frank Luntz's place. Republican pollster Frank Luntz said that he would bet on Donald Trump after being asked after Wednesday night's CNN debate who he predicts will win the 2024 presidential election. And, time and time again, that was on CNN. Time and time again, there's reporting on CNN that Trump's going to win. And, this is huge, guys. This kind of reporting on CNN is not what you typically get. The mainstream media, okay? The mainstream media, what they want is, well, first off, they want Trump to lose. They always want liberals to win. But they want a competition going. Okay, they want a horse race going to keep people watching. And for left-wing Trump-hating CNN to keep predicting that Trump's going to win, which has a serious negative impact on Democrat voter turnout, is really historic. I've never seen anything like this before. And what we're actually seeing for the first time in the mainstream fake news corporate media is accurate reporting on the polls, which you never get. Now, why they're doing that, I don't know. I've got a few theories, which I'm not going to go through right now. But it's very strange what they're doing. Now, we've all been talking about who Trump's vice presidential pick is going to be. Everyone's been talking about that because on the Fox News town hall the other night, President Trump said he's already made the decision who his running mate's going to be. And most people say Noam, and I say, yeah, she's probably a favorite. But I also talk about Greg Abbott. And I know a lot of our MAGA brothers and sisters don't like Greg Abbott. I understand. But President Trump's first priority in his second term is the border, right? Shut it down. finish the wall, mass deportations, get Mexico and the rest of Latin America in line, and take care of this business on their side of the border and everything else. And Greg Abbott has an expertise in that. And Greg Abbott just made a massive move this week. Texas military, that's their National Guard, seizes city-owned border park and ejects federal agents. The Texas Military Department seized a city-owned golf course located in the busiest border crossing point. The Texas National Guard then ejected U.S. Border Patrol agents from the park and took total control of this section of the U.S.-Mexican border. I mean, this is big stuff, guys. This really is. And I think it fits in to Greg Abbott being on the short list of being Trump's running mate. You know what I wonder, and I've read a lot of stories on this. I haven't gotten really any credible reporting on how the Border Patrol reacted. Do you think they minded? They may be pissed, right? Anyway, let's see. Border Patrol officials told Breitbart, Texas, that Texas National Guard units quickly moved into Shelby Park and Eagle Pass on Thursday. The guardsmen erected barriers around the park and instructed Border Patrol agents to leave the area. This move only serves to raise tensions at the ground level between state and Border Patrol agents who are bound by policy set in D.C., the official stated. If the number of crossings we saw in December returns, we'll be the first ones the state calls to deal with another humanitarian crisis. It's not a humanitarian crisis. It's an invasion is what it is. It's not a humanitarian crisis. That's how the media and the Biden regime and the Democrats and the Unipart, it's not a humanitarian crisis unless you count the Americans who are being killed because of it, whether it's from the poison of fentanyl or crime or anything else. Then it's a humanitarian crisis of Americans that are being victimized, or your kids are being kicked out of their school in the dead of winter in New York. Yeah, then it's a humanitarian crisis, but it's not from that end of the border. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Cindy from Martin County.
Hey, Cindy. Good morning.
I want to fill you in about Greg Abbott.
Yes.
Okay? First of all, he's establishment. He's been in office too long. He advised to the Bushes. He belongs to the World Economic Fund. You can look it up. He was there. He went to it. I mean, really? Now, I'm not going to tell everybody that goes there is bad. I mean, obviously, the guy from Argentina was there. Some other people were there. But look at how long it took him to do anything. We have what we call the 10th Amendment, nullification. That's considered state rights. And if you remember Trump, under COVID, what did he say? I'm giving it to the states. Let the states decide what needs to happen in their state, not by the federal. So this Abbott, he's just another establishment.
How many of them? But okay, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying, but he is making some really bold moves at the southern border, like this one I'm talking about.
Too late, Brian. It's too late. The people are coming in Martin County. We see them in droves. It's happening.
Oh yeah.
He's waited.
Yeah.
He's got Carrie Lake. Remember, let's go back to Carrie Lake. What did she say when she ran? She said, I will invoke the 10th Amendment. That's what she was going to do. She didn't care. And
she's not going to be the running mate. She's not going to be the running mate.
No. I'm not talking about her being the running mate. But this is the problem with Ron DeSantis. He talks a good game, but he still goes along with it because he says, oh, well, we got E-Verify. E-Verify is a bill, which they do not have in Texas, okay? Nobody really has it in strong sense.
So then why is Greg Abbott doing all these great things then, like this?
Because I tell you why. Because Alan West moved there and became the chairman of the party. He tried to run. Everybody's pissed off in Texas. I get on these conference calls. Texas, I'm telling you right now, you're headed to be a blue state. Just look at the state legislators.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
they
now,
are.
could it be
Patrick?
That's true. But could it be the Attorney General Patrick? then I'd say, hey, let's go for it, baby, because he brought how many cases against the Biden administration? I mean, look at his action that he did under Obama. This is a man who stands up and understands the Constitution, the 10th Amendment. I would say go for it. So maybe it's not Abbott, but I think Abbott, listen, Trump has to be nice to him. You know, he's always a good guy. We want to get him elected, but everybody knows he's been in office too long. He has never really had a real job. Really.
Well, not very many of them have. But listen. I'm not advocating for Greg Abbott. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not advocating for him.
No, I know.
But I know. There are so few. There's a lot. Trump has to fill literally thousands and thousands of jobs. And there's a few hundred key positions that have to be filled, and there's a couple dozen major positions, right? Like the cabinet and vice president. There's not the people that we can trust that are upper level. Whose name is not Trump. You can count on one hand, right? You got Carrie Lake, you got Kristi Noem, you've got Matt Gaetz, you've got Marjorie Taylor Greene. Who else can we trust? Fully trust?
I'm going to throw some people at you right now. I'm gonna throw in Senator Rand Paul. Let me tell you why. Because Rand Paul is Ron Paul's son, and Ron Paul's been running around the country for all these years, even when he was a rep, talking about let's audit the Federal Reserve, understanding the money sense of it. He also
yesterday. Okay, I'm glad you brought it. Okay, Rand Paul.
No.
Hold on. Slow down.
What did he do when Trump was in office?
I want to play something for you. With them. I want to play something. I like Rand Paul, and the Democrats tried to kill him twice, okay? They attacked him in his front yard, and they attacked him leaving the White House that night, and so, you know. But he released a video yesterday, and I'll play it. You'll be able to hear it. Everybody else, you'll be able to hear and see it.
Good morning, everyone. As I told you yesterday, I'm ready to say something about the presidential race. I've had a long relationship with Donald Trump, and there's a lot to like there. I'm also a big fan of a lot of the fiscal conservatism of Ron DeSantis. I think Vivek Ramaswamy's been an important voice. Also have listened to and met with the independent Bobby Kennedy. I'm not yet ready to make a decision, but I am ready to make a decision on someone who I cannot support. So I'm announcing this morning that I'm Never Nikki. And if you go to nevernikki.net, you can let her know that you're not a supporter either. I don't think any informed or knowledgeable libertarian or conservative should support Nikki Haley.
Okay, so I agree with him on Never Nikki, but what's he talking about DeSantis and Ramaswamy and not endorsing Trump at this point, Rand Paul?
I don't think he has to endorse Trump, and also, by the way, he'll never become the vice president because we need every senator.
Well, you put him on the list of people that can be trusted. I have 4. Well, you added him as the 5th, and that's yesterday.
But wait, I put him there for one reason only, is we now have a speaker that's, he's going to get vacated. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Because what is he doing?
Yeah.
So he is he is agitating what we need to do, which is to stop the spending, shut the government down, audit the Federal Reserve. This is something that Senator Rand Paul, I remember a speech I went to at the Tea Party, and he said it. I play golf with President Trump.
I'll tell you this, okay? I like Rand Paul a lot. Mm-hmm. However, and some of you are not going to like me saying this, okay? You can't trust people that are libertarians are not MAGA, okay?
I get it.
You cannot trust libertarians because, libertarians sometimes take very, very strange positions. Well, for him to say at this point, for him to start complimenting yesterday, Ron DeSantis with all this crap that's been going on, come on, you can't trust him.
Okay, don't forget Project 2525. I think it is. Go to it, and you can apply for a job. That's what Renew America, Heritage, they're all coming together. And what you do is you fill in this application. It is amazing. They're going to hire. And day one, when he signs his name on that dotted line and he is the president, everybody goes to their offices. The staffers, everybody's been hired.
Yeah.
All of these agencies. It's going to be amazing. Okay. This isn't going to be like we wait around. And by the way, he's not going to have people like Reince Priebus as his chief of staff which is what Reagan is.
I mean, there's another one. I mean, President Trump, by the way, I appreciate the call. It's good to hear from you, all right? I'll talk to you again sometime. By the way, you're all welcome to call in. It's all the calls, obviously, are screenless. Anytime I take calls on the radio or here, all the calls are screenless. I screen them live on the program, okay? And I enjoy doing the show that way. So when you call in, it's completely screenless. The number, if you're watching live, is pinned to the top of the live chat. It's 888-465-2631. Right now, and I was talking about this yesterday when I was talking about Ben Shapiro. This country, and it's not just our great country, it's our entire civilization is in the balance right now. And if Trump is not reelected I believe he will be, and I know you guys do. Frank Luns, who hates him, even says Trump's going to win in 2024. So, so that's all great. But it's time to stop talking. Well, I like Ramesh. I like this. I don't care who you like, okay? It's Trump or we're screwed. It's Trump or we're done. There's so much crap going on. I mean, look at this. Liberal teachers tell students it's offensive to identify as straight. His name is Ian Golash. Says this is at the Daily Fetched, which is a pretty good news site, who recently came under fire for lessons on sexual orientation, told some male students they are a product of the patriarchy that teaches young boys not to care, according to a complaint filed by an angry parent. The mother, who chose to remain anonymous, which is smart because she'll have these monsters after her, provided a copy of a social identity wheel, worksheets that this lunatic teacher assigned to the class. She shared them with the Jason Ranch Show on KTTH. The worksheets request the student to self-reflect on their identities, which includes racial, ethnic, gender, socioeconomic status, physical, emotional, developmental disabilities, and sexual orientation. However, the parents said that when her 15-year-old son labeled himself straight, Golash, the teacher, told him to pick a less offensive term. Fox News obtained emailed communications from the mother raising her concerns with Golash, the teacher, and the chief self-principal. I don't know what that means. But anyway, I don't need to go to the details of this. What's going on in this country with the Democrats is insane, okay? This gender thing that's going on, the border problem that's going on, this proxy war with Russia. Right now, Biden's funding the terrorists through Iran. He's giving money to Hezbollah and Hamas and Iran. And the money we give to Iran, they give to the terrorists back. So he's double dealing, giving the terrorists money. He gives it to them directly, and he also gives it to Iran. While this is going on. Are you kidding me? I mean, really, are you kidding? So when I hear Rand Paul or anyone say that they're not backing Trump right now, that's enough for me to cross them off my list of people that I can trust. And I would think you guys, in large part, probably agree with me. This is not a time to not be behind Trump. President Trump is the only one that can take on these issues. It's not enough just to say you don't agree with him. He has the ability to turn this country around and save it. It's not too late. The country is not lost yet, okay? It's not lost. But it takes Trump. And when Rand Paul says, never Nikki, I agree with that. But he's saying good things about DeSantis right now? Are you kidding me? Boy, oh boy. Now, at the beginning of the stream, if you missed the beginning of the stream, go back and watch. I showed two incredible videos, one of DeSantis and one of Nikki Haley, that you will not want to miss. So go back to the beginning of the stream and check those out. I mean, Nikki Haley's going to be in this for a couple more states. She'll at least be in New Hampshire. Big question is whether or not she'll risk being humiliated, losing South Carolina. She may. She's a lunatic. But this video that I played at the beginning of the stream, like I said, if you missed it, please go back and watch the beginning of the stream. This is the end. That video will be with Nikki Haley for every moment she is in this campaign. And it's a beautiful video. It exposes her for what she is. And also the full-length video I shared of the great Laura Loomer confronting Ron DeSantis, which was beautiful. If you're new to my channel, subscribe. You're going to love it here. This is the most pro-Donald Trump platform you will find anywhere. I will never disagree with President Trump. I will never criticize President Trump. And I say that with pride, okay? And if you don't love Trump, you watch me for a week or two, you'll come around. I promise you. Everyone who's already subbed, do me the favor of checking and making sure that you are subscribed to my channel. A lot of people are telling me that they have to resubscribe all the time. So make sure you're subscribed. And also, please like the video. Guys, when you like the video, that helps spread the word about my channel to people that have not yet found me. My name's Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. God bless America. And, of course, God bless the greatest president we have ever had in this great country, Donald Trump. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.